Morning, welcome to the second day of our lectures. We will try to detail a little bit more the Brahimi report. We already talked about Brahimi report during the evolution of UN doctrine, and now we will see with more details this report. Remember, our objectives today will be identify the main doctrine change created by Brahimi report, identify the relation between the multidimensional mandate of peacekeeping operation and Brahimi report, and appoint recommendations from Brahimi report related to peacekeeping operation structures. And why is it important? Remembering the UN doctrine, the evolution, remember that we had the first scenario, a traditional peacekeeping operations. Traditional one, basically conflict between states. These conflicts changed after the Second World War, middle of 20th century, and became more and more civil wars. Different actors involved, those and one sometimes, not only two states. And the UN doctrine had to change. Otherwise, would be stuck causing genocide, what happened during the 90s, especially in Rwanda, Somalia, and Yugoslavia. So, Brahimi report changed this scenario, changed this doctrine. Not only chapter 6 anymore, use of force only in self-defense. So the Brahimi report was important to give more flexibility to the military components to use lethal force beyond self-defense to accomplish the mission to protect civilians, avoiding, under this aspect, the failures, genocides, what happened and occurred in Rwanda in 1994 and Bosnia and Herzegovina in 1995. And recommendations proposed by the Brahimi report. Recommendation for preventive action, you'll be able to read and to understand this kind of rules. Recommendations for peace building. What's the meaning of peace building? Peace building basically is to strengthen the institutions, national institutions, sorry, such as justice, human rights, electoral process, etc., not only in terms of security. So peace building is a entire list, a complex list of tasks. And the UN peacekeeping became more and more complex because these new tasks. Doctrine, strategy, same thing, recommendations. Recommendations clear, critical, and factor of mandate. The mandate must be clear, otherwise troops in the field and police and civilians will not be able to accomplish their missions. Information, analysis, intel, very important in terms of Brahimi report. Timeline, it's important to have a deadline to deploy troops in the field. Mission leadership, the quality, preparation of this leadership to accomplish the mission, to understand the scenario, to talk properly to local authorities. Military component, it's very important to have troops capable to accomplish their missions, well prepared. And here you have a huge debate, a huge discussion about budget. If UN wants battle troops, battle prepared, it's necessary to give more money to the countries to prepare their troops. So it's always a problem, always a huge and a hot spot to be resolved. Police component, same thing, another very sensitive point. Police members must be part of the peace building process, creating and training local police to accomplish their missions. civil specialists. UN agencies must be integrated to local agencies. Sometimes these agencies, these specialists will be deployed before peacekeeping operation is established in the field. So it's very important the quality of these members of the UN civilians in terms of gathering information to help the deployment of the first UN elements in the field. Use a quick the public information, the public information, local opinion, public opinion is a very sensitive point to support the UN operation. Thinking that UN can be seen as threatening, attacking the sovereignty of the country. So it's a very sensitive subject, and UN must have the local support, local public opinion under its side. Logistic support, same thing, very sensitive and very important issue. Scenarios where there are conflicts, usually they have many problems in terms of infrastructure and to support UN operations under this scenario, lack of roads, lack of infrastructure, transportation, etc. There is a huge demand for improvement in terms of logistical support. It means budget. Financial support, same thing, connected to the other one. Integrated missions, same thing. Integrate the military, police and civilians all the time. UN representatives, human rights, checking if there are problems in the field. Otherwise the public opinion will be a failure. So the main conclusions to the Brahimi report was a turning point in terms of peacekeeping operations. It represented a revolution from traditional to multidimensional operations in the field and recognized the necessity to give more flexibility to use force beyond self-defense. Protection of civilians became a relevant indicator to measure the success or failure of UN peacekeeping operations. UN was not created to take mankind to heaven, but to save humanity from hell. Integration.